Morning, morning, everybody. Hope everybody is well. It's Friday, so the last day of the week. Let's just go over what we've been doing and obviously how we've been getting on. So, pretty good week. We obviously had on Wednesday afternoon, we got caught a little bit. So, obviously, but it's been pretty good apart from that. We had 100% Monday, two trades 100% Tuesday, two trades 100% yesterday. So really good, really, solid. It was just obviously Wednesday afternoon which caught us, like I'd said. I'm pretty happy with this week. Would like a nice, solid day, potentially like Monday, and then I'll be pretty happy then. So yeah, really happy, really, solid. Let's have a look at obviously what we've got today. So Friday, obviously had negative retail sales come out. So yeah, I don't think this is going to impact much. Is as expected. Spending's down. Anyone in the UK knows obviously cost of living at the moment is a little bit more expensive for everyone. So obviously naturally retail sales are going to be down. We got Lagarde speaking. For those of you on the boot camp, you obviously know what to look out for, potentially practice, but once you start watching speeches and stuff, you will understand that certain currencies don't really move much because they're always on point. ECB is a bit like that. I think, in my opinion, they're very organized. They're always on point. So not a lot happens. Lagarde doesn't ever say anything out of the ordinary, as opposed to like Jerome Powell or whoever else. So euro tends to glide through a bit unprotected. But yeah, nothing else really. Got some retail sales for CAD, which we don't trade anyway. So yeah, not a lot else for us to look at. It's all going to be hype and expectation. So building on the hype and expectation, let's have a look at the dollar. We had this crush down yesterday. What I would be looking out for, because I've had a few of you message me from yesterday, is this level here. If I'd have woken up this morning and the dollar was obviously trading below here, yes, I probably would have flipped our script. But because this has held up well, Asia, we're kind of climbing, all right, kind of climbing up there. I'm expecting, yeah, potentially priced to stay in around this kind of, zone here, which we're in. So let's wait and see though what happens. Yields again. This was the level. Sorry, it's a terrible line. This was the level here. If yields were trading down here, yeah, again I'd be looking at anticipation here. All I'm seeing at the moment is price obviously pumping up here. A little bit of a relief, which means price probably doesn't want to go past there. So until something happens, I can see us trading within this area here. If this breaks, we're going to flip. Obviously, a continuation is a bit worrying. What would I like to, see? So in an ideal world, yes, I'd love. I think it's going to be easier for us to trade when price is below here, as opposed to for us to trade when price is above here. Same as the dollar. I think once 99,500 gets broken, it's a bit of sort of uncharted territory. We know it's a bit overbought here, and so obviously, ideally, yes, this would be easier to trade because we know as soon as this breaks, 98,500 is coming in. All right, so that's kind of what I would like, but obviously it's not what we have got. And I don't really mind this here. I like the idea of it creeping to the upside, but obviously not doing anything major. Let's just check. We're not in any trades yet this morning. So first trade, top trade was obviously GBP USD. I just wanted it to creep up into this area before obviously tailing off. We've not had that. It looked like we were going to, but obviously, yeah, it hasn't happened. As we've had obviously a good week this week, I've tried to play a little bit safer this morning, and I'm obviously happy to go a little bit more aggressive later on. Euro, same thing. Just wanted this pop up here, but didn't quite get it. So looking like I might be taking this off the cards. Aussie, I kind of stayed away from because yeah, I just don't like it at the moment. I think because gold has been so hard to trade, we've what have we had? We had probably two or three gold trades this week. We've lost out on one. The others have been good, but obviously gold's not doing what it normally does. So it is tricky, and obviously Aussie is relatable to that 'cause they're obviously one of the biggest exporters of gold. So. Yeah, I didn't really but I didn't really fancy anything here. You can see here structure is kind of starting to, obviously we're making up that trend there. Price, in my opinion, is being squeezed. Right, price is being squeezed here. It doesn't matter how you look at it, even if you look at it from a slightly lower time frame here, price is still being squeezed. All right, so there is a big move due. Is it to the upside? Is it to the downside? I'd be watching this. Flag patterns are probably, I would say, with consolidation are probably the best patterns to kind of trade 'cause they're quite easy. However, it breaks out very, very quickly. And obviously, sometimes what you'd want as an ideal, and say it was going to break out to the downside, you'd want a nice closure here. You then want a retest, and then obviously you're entering here. But obviously, that doesn't happen. Sometimes it just blasts, straight out, and you've got no chance. But obviously, it's always interesting to look at it. Next one on the cards was gold. Still, obviously, in this one, still confident. I'm really, really happy with our entry here. I don't think there's enough to push gold higher, and I don't think there's enough to push gold lower. So if we're looking at our kind of high would be here, our low would be here. That's where I think gold is kind of trapped in. I can't see it breaking down until yields, have to probably close around here, and then that's going to take gold up because the next target for yields would be here. So this is quite a big gap here for it to fill. So yeah, expecting this to potentially, if this breaks, then obviously, we should see gold push up and to test this high here, potentially testing this area here. That's what we'd be looking at there. So let's wait and see what happens. USDJPY, I'm kind of staying away from. We're starting to consolidate in price here. So, is it going to carry on creeping up higher? Is it going to drop lower? Whatever happens, low has got the potential for a move like this. So just be a bit careful if you're trying to buy it. Selling it. I actually think if we're going to get this continuation, we might creep back into that 160 area, and then we might see the same thing happen again. It'd be really interesting to see the USD JPY chart, because yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we do kind of creep up here. So if we do something like this, it'd be really interesting to see if we do this again. um, and obviously what the actual chart would look like because it would look horrible. It would look absolutely horrible. So yeah, I'm very, very wary on USDJPY. I'd rather be, selling, but obviously that's obviously where we are at the moment. We're a bit trapped in between. So that's what I'd be kind of marking up here, is yeah, just being careful buying past this here because we've tried one, two, three, four times to break through here, and obviously it's not broken through. So price action like this, it means that there's lots of confusion. You got lots of buyers, but equally you've obviously got that selling pressure, and obviously we know that these guys aren't worried. These guys are. So as soon as one of these guys goes, then obviously that's where we get the womp, you know? So just be aware of that on USDJPY. But no, I'm looking at obviously what we've done this morning. Gold, I just want this patch up here and then continue. That'd be very, very nice. Euro has probably gone and pound has probably gone. We only just missed out on those this morning, but I'd rather play it a bit, safer than us obviously go out and out at attack. And obviously, this is one thing that everyone needs to remember about Fridays. All right. I hate, and one of my worst things was, I could have had a pretty good week, and I might have potentially gone for it on a Friday, lost everything, and what do? You spend the whole weekend stewing then. Rather than having a very, very strict routine, Fridays are important. And one thing that I always practice or I always used to practice was there is nothing better than coming into Friday, 3, 4 o'clock. Yes, we can obviously clock off a bit earlier. So say 3 o'clock on a Friday, you've had a profitable trading week, you're happy, your weekend just changes. All right. Whereas if you've just been struggling, gambling, over leveraging, you know, not had a great week at all. It ruins your whole weekend to the point where you can't wait for Sunday evening, and then you go straight in at 10, and then it spoils everything again. So, really think about your kind of, mental, positioning. Um, where in how you want to feel at the weekend because but believe it or not to have a good week you need rest on Saturday and Sunday. You need to show patience on a Sunday evening, and then you need to then obviously you are ready to trade on a Monday morning. So what I always do during the week, or what I used to do, I actually recorded myself a couple of Fridays. I was here and I was upset, I was angry, and I recorded myself speaking to, me, um, about trying to, sort out what I was doing because it does become a bit of an issue. It does become a bit of a problem, you know. So every time that I was tempted to deviate from my plan, I would watch one of these videos, and it would just help to keep me on track because you want to be feeling good on a Friday. So all week think about, right, if I do this, am I going to feel good on Friday? If I do this, am I going to feel good on Friday? So really have that in your head. You want to leave the trading desk, trading view Friday afternoon and be like, yes, you know what? I can see progression here. So that's obviously how you've got to be. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions? Who um who who here just out of interest, thinks about their, mindset? Who here agrees that on a Friday evening it's the worst if you've had a rubbish week trading? Just put in the chat me. Yeah, so yeah, 100%. So it will really, really help you, so it will really, really help you to think about how you want to feel on Friday. Yeah. All right. Friday evening, think about it. 3 o'clock, whether you're into wine, and you've had even if it's a, sideways week, you pop in a glass, you're happy, you're, having a drink, you've had a good, week. It's been worthwhile, so yeah, that's obviously what I would be looking into. Yeah. Because yeah, finishing green or at least finishing happy. All right. Yes, there's going to be weeks where it might not be green, but you'll be happy because you've, stuck to your plan. But obviously, if you have these times where you're gambling, you're going in, you've got to really, think about, right, you know what, I want that feeling on Friday that I've stuck to my plan. Um, well, every time I've lost, it's been Friday. Yeah, it happens. Finishing the week in green makes a huge difference. Yep, yeah, that is the truth here. So really, think about it. Even days like this, so even days like this, um you've got to, really think, right, you know what, I'm going to honor my, stop loss because I've still got time. So I use Tradezilla. Um, I did help out with a company called Trade Tab, but which is brilliant, and I actually think it's better than Tradezilla. It's just not working properly. It's just not working properly. So that's why I've been u using Tradezilla. Been consistent the whole week, and then fuck it up on a Friday is horrible. Yes, so yeah, right. Well. I'm gonna leave it there. One good thing that I would always mention, right, and I used to do it a lot, is if you have a bad week or a bad time, record it. All right, I promise you, don't show it to anyone, but every time you're gonna do it again, watch it. All right, because I'd make that video horrible, right? Speak to yourself like absolute crap. All right, because I promise you, you're gonna watch it and then think, oh, damn, like what? No, no, not again, not again. So yeah, and I promise you, it will really help you. You don't have to show it to anyone, but every time that you think you're gonna, not on a stop loss, or you want to revenge trade or over leverage, just watch it because it's you. And obviously it's you at a place where you're gonna take yourself. So yeah, sometimes that always helps. But no, have a great Friday. Obviously I'll keep you updated throughout the day today. And yeah, let's smash it. Let's smash it. Have a good one, guys.